this?
Welcome to the Killer Comics Show.
Welcome to the Killer Comics Show.
How you doing, Thomas?
Oh, what's up, YouTube?
Literally, it's another Thursday again. I can't believe it. It comes around so quick, doesn't it?
It does, mate. It does indeed.
And it's still only us two. Andy is getting better. Hopefully, he should be back next week. Fingers crossed.
He'll be replacing me next week, mate.
Oh, why? Why? You're not on it next week?
Well, I don't know yet. So basically, I might not be here for the next 3 weeks running. So next week, I might be doing something for the fire service for the Jubilee. So I might not be here for that. And then the following 2 weeks, I'll be away from my wedding. I think. No, that's wrong. So I will be here the week after that, and then I'll be off for 2.
That's ridiculous. Even though you're getting married, you should still make time to be on the show. Maybe.
I know, I've said that to Charlotte. I mean, I can't show you my lower body because it's been battered. I'm actually currently in a wheelchair since I said that. So yeah, it's been a hard few weeks.
But been good though. You all right though? Yeah, all good.
Yeah, sound mate. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. Got some new kit today. I got a new microphone. Got a new webcam. So I'm looking fresh.
You are looking fresh.
Hopefully, after the mishap of last week with both our internets being shocking and YouTube totally messing up every single person's algorithm that did a live stream on Wednesday and Thursday night last week. Hopefully, this week should be good. The chat seems to be buzzing already. Like Fuzzy Dunlop is in. Greetings. We'll possibly be back for the show. Tough few days. Enjoy the show, fellas. Hope you're all right, Fuzzy. Mr. Darren Izzard, evening all. He won't be staying for long because he's going to MCM tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be a good one. He's travelling down from, is it Lancashire or Leicestershire? So yeah, that's a good few hours on the train. So yeah, if you don't watch us now, you can watch us on the rerun on your train journey down.
Mate.
Of course. Leon Russell, evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining. Chris Bell. Ding dong, following the masculinity and triumph telling of last week. She's in this week, so I'm hiding it in the loo on my phone. So she basically read his comment from last week, and that foot that he put firmly down has been removed and solely placed up his arse by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Gary Mellows Facer, how you doing, sir? Thank you very much for joining us. We've got the only Phil's Nerdiverse. It's go time. Yes, it is indeed.
And that is Phil's
Nerd of the Nerd Herd. There we go. And ABZ Comics evening all. Let's go. Who else have we got? We've got, oh, Jesus, there's 2 sexy men in tonight. And I'm not just talking about myself and Tom. We have Mark Oldwood as well. Welcome.
Sexiest man on YouTube. He's taken my title.
We've got the lovely Connie Dalton. Thank you for joining, darling. And we have Lucy Andrews. Where's Tim? Yes,
we've got Lucy rather than Tim.
We've got Lucy rather than Tim. That's what we need. Comics vs. the World. It's Thursday night already. Yes, it is. Phil says we are looking sharp and Poptimus, lads, ladies, and Darren. Wow, there it is. That's it.
Well, Tim's not going to be on the show because he's currently doing a live on Facebook. The last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
So
shocking. Does he not know we're going to have to send him some copyright claims that the 9 o'clock slot is ours?
Yeah, you can't be doing live at 9 o'clock, pal.
Just that doesn't work. Friendship's gone totally out the window now. But have you been lucky enough to pick up anything this week?
Yeah, I have been lucky enough to pick up fuck all. Yeah,
right,
pretty much.
Well, I'll just jump straight in then. I got my comics from Galactic.
Yes, mate. Our sponsor,
yes. So obviously I'm collecting my Batmans. So I've got the 2 covers of Batmans. This is Batman 123. This is the Gabriel Delotto variant cover.
Get your missus to make me a cup of tea, will you, mate?
Why not? Then I've got the standard cover, the normal cover. Batman 123.
I like that variant cover. Who's that by?
That variant cover is by Gabriel Delotto.
Oh, it is Delotto.
It is the lotto. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because Francesco Martino was doing quite a few of them, and I think they're swapping it up now. I think when Chip Zdarsky joins, Francesco Martino will potentially be going back to do the variant covers. I didn't even realise this was still on my pull list crossover. I switched off. This is issue 13. I switched off on like issue 7, and I've still got it on my pull list, so I'm still checking that out. And 7 Secrets. This just goes from strength to strength. This is absolutely incredible. If you ain't
reading it.
Yes, if you ain't reading
it, worried that you weren't reading it. It's amazing.
Pick up the trade paperback, because this you think characters have died off and then they appear, and this guy here is probably one of the most loved characters throughout the whole series of 7 Secrets.
And he was only in one issue.
And he was only in one issue.
Yeah.
And then this is based on last week. I'd already ordered this, and this came through as well. This foil variant cover of Grimm issue number 1. I've only gone and done that.
Spexy, mate.
I've only gone and done the Geeky Guy standard thing and ordered 2 of them. So there's this one.
I'll have one.
And then there's another one coming. Oh, go for it. Sweet, we'll sort that out.
I'll off you, mate.
So yeah, so that's all I picked up this week, and you've got nothing, no?
I've got literally nothing, mate. My Galactic order, he emailed me yesterday and was like, "Your order's in," and I was like, "I can't afford it till I get paid." I got paid today, so I paid him today, so I'll get it next week. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Galactic Comics, then please head over to galacticcomics.com and check out what John's got going on over at Galactic. He's got some amazing stuff.
And tell him we sent you, and I'm sure you get a nice little discount. Why wouldn't you?
Hell yeah.
Do that? We've got everyone's superhero half pint. It's Panosian half pint. Evening, Sean. How you doing? Now, Lucy, I'm getting a telling off now. We came off the live to come on here and told everyone to come here too. Look at that. Look, the friendship's back. It's back.
Tim's not here though, so we've only got friendship with Lucy right now.
Tim's not here, but Lucy's the better half anyway.
It's true.
So that's better. Mark Oldroyd. That's it. Mark Oldroyd. I'm looking for a guest for a recording of the Prince Variant show at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Any volunteers? If I wasn't away for the weekend, I'd jump on and you could see, and I'd talk and help you out, mate. But unfortunately, I'm away and I'm coming off socials for all weekend, so you won't be able to see or hear from me for that. That foil of Grimm, honestly, it really is. I don't want to keep taking it out because I want to send this one off to CGC, but I've got to say it is.
Well, when your other one comes, whichever one looks the best, keep it, and I'll have the other one.
I will do that. I will. But John from Galactic Comics has got loads. He posted on Facebook the other day saying that they've still got like 10 or 15 of them. So if anyone wants one, head over and get one. The Scarlet Pimpernel herself, Perpetual Comics. Good evening, everyone. Big shout out to my boys for killing it and going well. And all going well. I'll be back next week. I've missed you guys. We've missed you too. Hopefully you are getting better. Chris Bell, hope you're getting there, Andy. And then Panels in a half pint. I need that foil of Grimm. Yep. Buy it then. If you want it, go and buy it. Basically. But yeah, check out Galactic Comics because it's going for silly money. There's so many variant covers going for silly money over on eBay at the moment. So, Andy, I hope you are feeling better soon as well. And that's love from Lucy. So yes, hope you are getting better, mate. We're trying to do the indie picks justice.
He's doing an all right job, to be fair, mate.
We are. I think I'm doing an all right job. And talking about doing an all right job, this is one of your jobs that you put together.
So I've got the full track of that song on my laptop at work. And the other day I was looking through stuff. I was trying to like delete bits and bobs off the laptop. And I ended up pressing spacebar a couple of times to listen to the songs before I deleted them. And that one came on. And my mate literally from like behind his computer kind of went, "Are you listening to some elevator music or something? Like, are you pretending to be in an elevator?" I was like, "It's not that bad, is it?"
Oh, it's great. I love it. I love our jingles. I love our jingles.
I spent a lot of time on that, Wenker.
So this is obviously, as we start off the show every single week, this is the killer covers for May 25th, which was yesterday. So 3 of us, Andy, bless him, has also picked one this week from his bed. He's picked one, and he's also picked the indies for this week as well. So you're just going to have to listen to me muddle through them. So we've picked 3 covers. Up first is yourself, Thomas.
Me, yeah. So I've gone for the DC Black Labels Batman Beyond the White Knight, and I've gone for the 1 in 25 Dustin Ngu Is that how we're saying it? Someone did correct us, didn't they?
Someone said his name was Derek Nigel, but we're just going to go with Dustin and Guyan.
Dustin and Guyan, yeah. So basically, I've gone for that one, and I love it because it really reminds me of the TV show. That kind of like futuristic, the way that it's done, like speed lines and everything. I thought it was really, really cool, and it just really caught my eye. Out of all the other covers this week, there's so many really nice covers, but this one really caught my eye. And I think it's just because of the nostalgia side of it. And I really enjoyed this as a book anyway, so I was definitely going to pick Batman. So I'm well happy with my choice this week. I don't know if it's but
no. Do you know what? I've read this, and do you know what I like about this cover is that obviously the Batman Beyond is the new like Batman suit, and as you can see, like the Terry McGinnis is wearing it with the red logo, and I like the way that they've highlighted Beyond as the red, the same to match the suit as well, so it all kind of ties together. This again for me was like nostalgia. It was like tuning of a radio or the TV static, you know, when you're trying to tune, and like the beginning of the old Batman series that used to tune and stuff. So yeah, I this is a good one, and the fact is that it's done by someone else. If you go back and look at the Batman White Knight comics, the majority of the variant covers and the main covers are done by Sean Murphy. So for someone to come in to do a 125, and I've read this as well, and it's bloody awesome.
Yeah, I've not read it yet. I was kind of because I'm hoping that someone would have picked it for next week's read, so I get to read it.
I'm sure someone has. But I was talking to Katana Collins, Sean Murphy's wife, the other day, and she posted. She said that she's already read issue number 4, and I was like, "What?" And she said, "If you thought the end of issue number 2 was good, wait until you read issue number 4." So I'm looking forward to that. So that was your pick, Batman Beyond the White Knight, issue number 3, the 1 in 25, Dustin and Guyan variant cover. Andy has gone for Good Boy Volume 2, issue number 1 by Source Point Press. This is the Big Time Collectibles exclusive Alan Quay Wolfman homage cover B Virgin variant.
Take a breath.
Do you know what this reminds me of? What was that film? It was set in the UK, and it was about these
dog soldiers.
This for me is Dog Soldiers all day long.
Yeah, the cover is very similar, but then I think that film cover is a homage to the original Wolfman TV film.
Yeah, I think it is. But I mean, this is great. I mean, again, they fluctuate the market. Volume 2, issue number 1. I think there's like 60 odd covers that have come out for this comic.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I do like this cover, to be fair.
It is very good, and just to be able to pick this, like I've read this, and we was lucky enough that Garrett Gunn sent this through to us, and we was able to read it. I read it. I thought it was great. I thought it was actually really good, and I think it's picked up directly from the end of volume number 1. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out. But this is a great cover.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like the hints of red. I think that really makes it pop, which is nice.
And it is, isn't it? Like as Darren said, that is a damn good Alan Quay. Nice to see something different from Quay. It is, to be fair, like unless it's like the Marvel and like the standard stuff that he does, this is quite good. So yes, that's Andy's cover, and then I've gone for the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2, the Patrick Gleason variant B. This is just
I love this.
Amazing.
I almost picked this one.
This is. I mean, because he's done. What's he done? 3 of them now. He's done this one. He done Venom.
So there's 4. So you've got the Venom, the black and white one, which is the new guy, the new Venom character whose name I've forgotten. You've got the new Red Goblin woman.
Yes,
he's in that one.
Yeah.
It's not the Hobgoblin, and then he's obviously done Green Goblin as well.
But this for me is just fucking like I wasn't really a massive fan of Gleason.
No.
But when I see this, I think me, you, Tim, and Andy spoke about this 3 or 4 weeks ago. And when you see this, it was like, this is something special. You don't see, I know it sounds stupid, but you don't see a lot of orange covered comics.
No.
And this is as scary as anything. And the fact is that like you got the spider coming down that falls in place of the pupil in his eye. This is ridiculous. And like the annoying thing is with this show, when we do this, some of the pictures, they don't do them justice.
No. I mean,
really
you
don't.
Probably have to zoom in, but have you noticed the pumpkins?
Yes. It's just,
I thought that was a really good way of doing it.
Yeah. And it is very if Lucy and Tim don't vote for this, then there's something wrong going on here. But
Yeah, definitely.
but
Feel
yeah,
like you've got the winner this week, pal.
what's the perpetual saying? You really need to stop slipping into Miss Murphy's DMs. People will start to talk. Look, it's just a communication. We both love the comics, and yeah, that's all it is. And then what is it? ABZ, probably one of my favourite Gleason covers. I've got to say this. Everyone was saying, "Oh my god, the Venom that he did was one of the favourite Gleason covers that he's done in the Spider-Man." This, I think, tops it. And if you go on his site, you can see all of them in full glory, and they're fantastic. What are we saying? We've got Connie saying that's a good cover. The Popsmith Charlie smashed it with that cover, absolute class. So what we will do, I will now head over as I normally do to YouTube, and I will put in who wins cover of the week. Who wins cover of the week, and then we can let me load up my 1,000 websites. And then so we got Tom. You went first. Who did you go with, Tom? You had Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, yeah.
And Beyond. Andy had Good Boy. Andy was Good Boy Volume 2, and I went for. What have I gone for? Who have I gone for?
Gleason.
Yeah, I've gone for Gleason. Right, so I've gone for
The one that's been on the screen the longest.
Sorry about that, Gleason. So Gleason, right, Gleason. Yeah, there we go. Right, so let's do that. Ask the community. There we go. Right, so let's go back. Let me give you all the fair share. So that's mine. Then we've got Andy's, and then we've got Tom's. Tom, this is great, mate. I'm literally love this.
So backtrack now.
I like this. If Charlie wins, I'm not coming back. There we go. Look, Andy's just said that. There we go. Look, love that Gleason cover. Just a light in his rating.
I would have picked that Gleason cover, but this one just really caught my eye. But yeah, I mean, I think you've made a great choice, mate. I mean, I voted for you.
I feel like we've seen this cover before. Oh wait, that's because we have. There's no chance. No, like, there's no need to get naughty. There we go. And love the webheads. No need to get gel, mate. Right. Anyway, so yes, let's get on to why we are here at the part of the show. This is and while we're doing that, hold on. There we go. There's a live claim sale on Saturday.
There's a live clam sale down in Cornwall.
I knew something was a bit fishy. This is the live claim sale on Saturday, 4th of June at 4 p.m. over on Facebook. The Hobgoblins Hideaway. Lucy and Tim will be bringing the outside in, and you will be able to, I've got Alexa screaming at me. I've just said, like, we had a live claim sale going on at Saturday at 4, and she's just saying to me, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, we've got that happening
in her diary, mate. She's like, we're going to book it. We're there.
There we go. Over at 4 p.m. over on Facebook. Andy, if you are you're in the chat, if you can just find the link and drop it in the chat so everyone can join. But it's always a great show. It starts at 4 p.m. and probably finishes about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. There's slabs galore, there's cheap as chips, there's dogs barking, there's dogs snoring. You get Tim getting up to like 25,000 steps because he doesn't stop and he's constantly on his feet for 12 hours. But yeah, if you do get a chance, head over there because there is always something for everyone and it's run fantastically. And it's awesome. So yeah, best claim sale on the interweb, as Andy just said, the best claim sale on the interweb. And the majority of people in the chat and on Instagram are buying stuff from there anyway, so they know how good it is. So tell your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your nan, the geezer that gives you the kebab, that the claim sale from the Hobgoblins Hideaway, June the 4th at 4 p.m. over on Facebook is the place to be. There we go. So now we can get on to the week 20 review. So last week there was quite a lot of comics out. There was quite a lot of good comics that we've been following consistently. So I took the liberty of choosing Rain issue number 5 for Andy because knowing Andy would have 100% chosen that. I went for Alice Ever After issue number 2. Tom, you went for I Hate This Place issue number 1.
Yes.
And then I just picked Slumber issue number 3 because we was reading it anyway, and it was just, I felt like we could add one more comic in. Why not? So cool. So up first, we've got Andy's Reign issue number 5. Now, this is obviously written. This is the final issue number 5. They've been fantastically great. This is written by Joe Hill and David M. Booher, who obviously wrote Kanto, and the success from that was absolutely global. And the art is by the fantastic Zoe Thorogood. This came out last Wednesday. There's only 4 covers for it. We've got the main cover by Zoe Thorogood. We've got the Nick Robles variant cover. We've got the Christian Ward variant cover, and we have the Zoe Thorogood 1 in 50 black and white sketch variant. Tom, what did you think about this, mate?
Take a breath, mate. Wow, Jesus. I didn't like it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
So I thought issue 4 was really strong, and I thought it ended well. I thought this issue started okay, and I thought it was like leading up to, you know, a really kind of thoughtful ending, you know, the burying the parent and burying her girlfriend and stuff. And then just this very odd thing where you discover where the rain came from, how it all happened, who's kind of created it. And I just thought, wow, that's a bit of bullshit. That's like I feel like you've just gone and made a really nice, really good story about this phenomenon that's happened that you then could have explored in the next series. And all you did was give us the bad guy right at the end and why they did it. And it was I just thought it was a bit of an afterthought. Does that make sense? So I just didn't enjoy it. I just thought I think it was very good, very, very good. And I would massively recommend it to anyone to go and read it. All I just thought was the ending was a bit poor. You know, when you watch a TV series and you give it like all your love and attention, and then in the last episode, they kind of like make it a bit meh. That's kind of how I felt about this. I thought it was really, really good. So well written. I thought the artwork is incredible. The artwork is still incredible and it is still well written. It's just the twist and turn at the end. Like when you find stuff out, it's a little bit like, wow, that seems like a bit far-fetched / a bit of an afterthought. Like it wasn't, I didn't think it was necessary. That's probably the best way to put it. I just didn't think it was a necessary ending to bring in the bad guy and make it all about that. Do you know what I mean? But it did tie a few loose ends up, I suppose.
Do you know what I've got to say? Like there's been a lot of talk. Like I've looked at some of the reviews online, and there has been a lot of talk about this was the weakest issue, and I've got to kind of agree with it because I think it is to be honest, it is because it kind of felt a little bit rushed.
Yes,
you had issues 1 to 4 were seriously strong. Like strong, there was massive character development. You kind of understood, you went through the emotions. It's a very emotionally driven comic book. And then we kind of get to issue number 5 and it's kind of like, okay, so we're now kind of dealing with the aftermath of the tragedy. Honeysuckle is kind of dealing with like the dark truth that we're going to see at the end of the comic because you know it's going to tie in. You know it's going to happen. It's the final issue. I do think though that Joe Hill and like David M. Booher have kind of done well creating tension through 5 issues.
Because, yes.
And even throughout this issue, I honestly didn't see the ending coming. I kind of got halfway through the issue and was like, okay, is it going to happen? And then when it did, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I did not expect this panel on the right-hand side to be so powerful.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Because it'd been such a prominent character from issue number 2. I was like, they're not going to do that. Surely they're not going to do it. And then you just like get this crazy bitch that's like come from Basket Full of Heads and literally just off with his head. Do you know what I mean? But I think I really enjoyed this comic. Like I really, really did. And I kind of understand where people are coming from saying it's the weakest issue. But I like the way that everything has had a direct link to this ending where we're at now and how it ended and stuff. I've got to say, consistently, Zoe Thorogood's the artwork is splendid. It's beautifully detailed. It's stylish. Every single page kind of draws you in, and you feel engaging. You feel one with like the characters and stuff. And in every single page, she really does something special and just captures the mood of like what she's trying to portray. Like, and I've seen some of her lives on Instagram, And she just, what she draws is so effortlessly delivered, but it's incredible. Like the detail that she puts into it is just amazing. So for me, I would say overall, this has probably been one of the most moving and interesting comics from the start of this year. For this year, this is one of the most interesting comics and thought-provoking comics for me. Emotionally, it just kind of gets you on every level, and I loved it. And I'll be very much interested to see what Andy thought. But for me, I've got to say this was a killer. I think it was a strong, even though like the ending, you kind of understand where it was coming from. I didn't see it. It came totally out of left field. I wasn't expecting it. And the only penny dropped when she kind of got hold of it. And I was like, oh, no way. That's not even sugar or salt or what the fuck is that? That's like glass. And it was a bit far-fetched. Like her husband flew off in a plane, or she flew off in a plane, and all of a sudden the whole world, like how have they done it so the whole world's got it? But I enjoyed it. It was something that hasn't been out there yet. I think it's one of the most well-written, artistically drawn comics this year. So I'm going to give it a 100% killer from me.
Yeah, I disagree. I think from issue 1 to 4, 100%, one of the best series I've read for a long time. Like you said, thought-provoking. The artwork, I cannot take away anything from the artwork. The artwork is stunning. And Zoe Thorogood does a great job of showcasing any character's emotion, whether it be happy, sad. It just draws you in. It is like watching a TV show. She does such a really good job with it. But for me, this issue, it just completely, for me, I just feel like this issue was just very unnecessary. It could have finished on issue 4, and then we could have got a series 2 from this issue. And I think they probably could have dragged this issue out a bit more. Yeah, so like I said, it was very rushed. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely not a killer. But I wouldn't bin it either. I don't think it's a binner, but it's not a killer either for me.
Oh, cool. So yeah, we're kind of off to an even kill start. Even kill start. But we've got Wakazashi's Tea House. Good evening, sir. How are you doing, sir? Hope you are all good. It is Top Gun Friday in Japan. Going to see it tonight after work. I'm looking forward to that. I'm very, very much looking forward to that. He can
fly the planes. Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he does all his own stunts, doesn't he? He's like an.
But he actually can fly the fighter planes on itself.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like, there's a YouTube video of him taking James Corden up in one.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He literally makes James Corden poo his pants.
Wow, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, do it. It's on YouTube. It's on the late night show.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. So there we go. This is Reign issue number 2, issue number 5. That's the final issue. The trade paperback is coming out, I think, in a couple of months. So make sure you get hold of that. I went for the fantastic Alice Ever After, issue number 2, written by Dan Panosian, and the art is by Giorgio Spalletta. What is that? Is that Spallettio? I will go with that. Spalletti, I'm going to go with it. The main cover is by Flaviana Amantaro. Cover B is by Erica Monaro. We've got the Adam Hughes FOC variant reveal, and we have the Adam Hughes 1 in 25 Virgin variant as well. For me, this is awesome. I am absolutely loving it. I've said this from day one, that this for me is reliving my childhood in adult form, and it's another strong issue from Dan Panosian. I've got to say, it's honestly another strong and intriguing issue from this, that a lot of people thought, well, this is Alice in Wonderland. Why the hell am I going to read about Alice in Wonderland? I've seen numerous films about it. I've read comic books. I've read the books. What's going to be different about it? This totally flips it on his head. This honestly flips it on his head. For me, like, Giorgio Spalletta delivers imagery that is just so out there, so intricate, so amazing, that it just draws you in. You can't help but look at it and think, have you noticed something that you didn't read it when you read it the first or third time? I've just got to say, I'm so involved in this. Like, overall, this is definitely one to add to your pull list if you haven't already. Like, there's fantastic covers. Like that Adam Hughes variant there is amazing. Like, that's incredible. The J. Scott Campbell one that they brought out for issue number 1. It was wicked. Like, I'm really, really loving this, and I've kind of enjoyed it. And I love the fact that we're kind of seeing the different side of it. Like, everyone knows Alice in Wonderland, in the Wonderland, like dreaming and doing what she's got to do over there, and
Boogie Wonderland.
and that's it. That is. But this is more like that. This is like a Boogie Wonderland, because it's all about how she's dealing with her drug addiction, and she's kind of. I got from this. I kind of got essences of like Arkham Asylum, when she's like in there and she kind of meets like all the people, and she meets the people that relate to the characters that are in Wonderland. Yeah. So straight off the bat, I'm going to say this is definitely one you should add to your call list. It's a strong comic. It's an enjoyable comic, and I'm all for it. What did you think?
I don't disagree, but I don't think it's a very strong killer this week. I thought it was a bit weaker than issue 1, but I do really like the concept of this book, and I love the fact that you like the way that Wonderland is drawn in a slightly different way to reality, and then what's happening is that reality and Wonderland are blending into one, and you're getting that whole she's seeing characters that we know are characters from Wonderland. Like, for instance, the head of the institution that she's in is the Red Queen.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really clever. And obviously, if you look at this panel, you can see you've got the Mad Hatter's definitely in there. You've got the rabbit guy, the little rabbit is in there. The what is he? Caterpillar with the eyeglass, he's in there. The Tweedledee and Tweedledum are there. I think it's really clever the way they've done it. I thought the first couple of panels were a bit rough, like the whole like Tweedledee and Tweedledum thing with her was a little bit like, wow, am I reading this in a comic book? Am I supposed to be reading this kind of behavior in a comic book? But it's kind of putting it out there, if you like, because this is the sort of shit that did happen in mental institutes back in this kind of era. Yeah. These sorts of things that did happen. I mean, we'll probably get to lobotomization at some point in this book. And I think it's really cleverly written. And I think it's really well drawn, and I do really like it. I just think this issue was not as good as issue 1. However, unlike Rain, I would really like to read issue 3. So I'm still intrigued. I mean, Rain left me not really wanting to pick it up and read it again, which was annoying because I really enjoyed the first 4 issues. But this, I'm intrigued to see where it goes, 100%.
Do you know what I liked about this is that like Dan Panosian, he's an artist as well, so he does like the art, and obviously he's written this as well. But he gives an interesting twist on the whole concept of Alice in Wonderland. Like, it's basically what he's done with it. He's created it. He's turned a classic story filled with great characters and great euphoric moments where you kind of, is it the red pill? Is it not the red pill? Is it just take the small drink? Is it the big drink? You bite the big biscuit to go big and small, like stuff like that. He's created this alternative world where the reality is her dream, but it's kind of all coming into fruition. She doesn't know if she's coming or going. Now, I'm kind of reading this thinking, is she actually in this? Is she in this mental institution, or is this another part of her brain that where she's having withdrawal symptoms from not taking the drugs, she's kind of playing this out of what her reality could be like?
I'm wondering it's the other way around. So Wonderland is real. It's her real world. And the tea that she drinks with the Mad Hatter is making her hallucinate the real world.
And this is why we love comics. Like, this is like, do you know what? Because you can get so involved in a comic. Like, I was reading this, I read this comic twice. And I was kind of like, when I first read it and picked it up, I was like, it's a bit brutal. The way that they're dragging her off.
Yeah.
Like, just throwing her in the room and thinking, yeah, well, no one's watching. We're going to beat the hell out of you. We can do what we want because no one actually cares. And like, even when the the Queen of Hearts turns around and says, "Oh, we would love to hear your opinion on how you think it's going here, Alice." And then when Alice is like, "I'd love to offer my opinion. Would that be okay?" She's like, "Of course it isn't. Like, who do you think this is?" And it's kind of, it draws you in. And you're like, "My God, I wanted to hear what she was saying." But I don't know whether the Wonderland's the real world or this is the real world. I think something's going to happen and it's all going to kind of fall on its head. Who knows? Alice might have died.
Yeah. And isn't that really clever that it's making us both think that? Because I think the blurred lines between Wonderland and the real world is making it very difficult to work out which one is her real world. And I think that's really clever.
I think it's
really clever.
really interesting that the whole concept of Alice in Wonderland, as people know it, has changed. Like Alice in Wonderland is, she kind of goes off into this garden, follows the white rabbit, and then that's where the story goes. Whereas here, it started with her at Wonderland, and now we're kind of learning about what's happening since she's grown up. She's lost a loved one. She's lost like a bit of rough. And it's so interesting. Like for me, it's really, really interesting. Like this is a kid's story, and the way that Dan has kind of flipped it on his head and turned it to like an adult audience. I'm interested in this. So again, it's a killer for me. But then again, I'm loving everything, and you've become Andy and not really liking anything at the moment.
Yeah,
so.
I've just inherited Andy's. Yeah, I've just become very Scottish.
That's all right. It's fine. But yeah, so I'm definitely going with this. And I would honestly say, if you're looking at it thinking Alice in Wonderland, like why would I ever read that? Just don't judge a book by its cover. Like just give it a read. If you don't like it, then don't continue it. But it is good. It is good. It is good. So yeah, so I'm going for another killer. What is this? Is this a killer for you, or is this a non?
Oh yeah, no killer. It's a. I would say it was a soft killer for me.
A soft killer.
Soft killer.
Fair enough. Up next, we've got. That's your one.
So yeah, so this is my pick this week. Written by Kyle Starks. Is that right? Starks.
Kyle Starks.
And artwork by Topilin. So you've got the main cover by Topilin, you've got the explicit cover by Topilin, which is fuck this place rather than I hate this place. And then you've got the 616 variant cover by Easton Hank. I actually really think that variant cover is pretty cool, and it does give away a bit of what the story's about.
It does, yeah.
I'm going to see what you thought of this before I give you my opinion on it. So what did you think of this book, Charlie?
If I'll be straight off the bat, if you've read, what is that comic? What is it? Bloody Home. Your favourite one by what's his name?
Homesick Pilot.
If you've read Homesick, if you like Homesick Pilots and you like Gideon Falls, this is up there for you. Like this is kind of falls into that bracket of like horror and mystical and genre stuff like that. I've got to say though, I like my horror comics, and this would be any addition. Anyone who likes the horror comic genre, this is a welcomed addition to it. Because honestly, Topilin, the art is fantastic in this. Like it's sketchy. For me, I kind of like, like Basket Full of Heads, where the art looks unfinished and it looks grainy and it kind of like 1950s artwork and stuff is drawn like that. For a first issue, this contains some seriously great art. I've got to say, it contains some seriously great art. And the fact is that the way that he stylized the characters is this has got supernatural feels all over it, and it's the perfect level of engaging you as a reader and giving you them bloody visual supernatural terror horror scared shitless don't want to turn the page over what's coming next terror vibes. I really got some strong M. Night Shyamalan vibes from this, especially where they're kind of in the panic room. It kind of took me back to Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson's Signs, where they're sitting there and they're watching the TV and they're watching it as it's happening, as the aliens are landing and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of got that, and I've got to say that even though this is known as Fuck This Place, it was quite unsettling, but an engrossing read. And as a new horror series, Tom, I just want to thank you for picking this one, mate, because it's got, what has it got in it? It's a secluded house in the middle of nowhere. It's got ghosts. It's got a hot coupling of two women. It's got aliens. It's got a menacing looking killer in the woods. So what is there not to love about this new horror genre from Image Comics? And for me, is it any doubt that I was going to give this a killer because I've done it? But yeah, I love this, mate. This was really, really enjoyable. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I opened it, I read the first couple of pages, and I thought, this is fucking trash. I thought, this is absolute trash. I don't know what I thought, I fucking hate this book. That's what I thought. I thought, this is awful. The artwork is sketchy, and I just didn't enjoy it. And I thought, this story is going nowhere. However, I stuck with it. I read the whole book, and the artwork really lends itself, like you said, to the story. And it did put me on the edge of my seat whilst I was reading it. And I did think this is kind of, I mean, I don't do horror comics, but this kind of had that essence for me where like I didn't want to turn the page because I didn't really want to be frightened. And I thought the character development of the two women that are in it was so well done in the first book that I'm already invested in what happens to them. I really want them to work it out and get out of there. Obviously, you know, things happen and you don't know. And when she goes off into the barn, midway through the book, I thought that was quite. And this bit at the start, literally these panels, I thought this is trash. He's just shot someone and he's got eaten by a monster. It's going to be a trash monster comic. But then as you go through the character development, not much happens in the way of action, but the tension building is incredible. So well done. And it really is like an old school 80s horror book or film, if you like. And the panic room bit I thought was really interesting when they start piecing bits together and then they watch the video and then they start piecing more bits together. And I thought, actually, this is all right. I could get behind this book. I definitely want to read issue 2. It might make me poo my pants. I might have to read it whilst on the toilet, but I will definitely read issue 2. And I actually would say this is probably one of my favorite 2 books of this week.
I totally agree with you, but I loved Basket Full of Heads, and I think I loved that because that was one of the first horror comic genres of the noughties that I jumped into, and I love Joe Hill stuff, and I was kind of like, Basket Full of Heads, this sounds good, and the artwork was like this, and when I kind of read that Basket Full of Heads first, I was like, I don't know if I can get into this. Like, I don't know this. I like the clean cut artwork. I like very clean cut artwork, like the perfect lines, and it all looks like a comic book. And this here, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm into this. After I finished Basket Full of Heads and Refrigerator Full of Heads, I was like, this is a bit of me. But this panic room scene here, she kind of looks, if you look over in the next couple of issues, in the next couple of pages, where she's sitting there in the chair, she's starting to look a bit like her auntie. So I don't know if that's kind of, this part of this house is doing this and stuff, but it's a gripping comic. Like, it's pretty bloody freaky, to be fair.
For me, there's one bit in it that really made me intrigued, and it's the fact that she's been there before, and her family have been there before, and they were allowed to leave.
Yeah.
And now they've just found out that when you live there or when you're there, you can't leave. So how did she leave the first time?
Yeah.
And secondly, she's far too comfortable.
Yeah.
Her partner isn't, the girl with the guns. She's not comfortable there at all. She wants to leave.
Yeah.
But the main girl whose auntie's house it is far too comfortable for my liking.
Wouldn't this be interesting if this just tied into Stillwater?
Yes. Yeah, that'll be wicked.
How good would that be? Like, yeah, this is another part of Stillwater that no one ever goes, but you can't leave that place either. But it is interesting. How was she able to leave and grow up? And it is very similar to Stillwater. Like the main character from Stillwater, he was able to leave and grow up, and now he's back, and it's kind of like the place has brought him back. So it's going to be interesting. And it's definitely like the way that it ended was like a cliffhanger ending, but it's going to be good. I'm really glad you picked this because I had trepidations about this. I was like, really, I fuck this place. Like, really? Okay, crack on, Image. What are you doing? But yeah, it's actually quite a good comic. Connie has said, so going back to Alice in Ever After, I didn't hate it. I think it was overhyped before its release, but it wasn't a bad movie. I don't know what's she talking about. They're talking about Top Gun.
Oh no, she's talking about Mom, MOM.
Oh, MOM, that's the one. Yes, there we go. That's it. They're going off on a tangent. And then Wakazashi said, me too. I went in with low expectations and eventually enjoyed quite a lot of it, especially the Sam Raimi visuals and horror themes. And then we have Connie is saying the horror aspects were my favourite part, to be honest. I just think that some are as cool as the multiverse. They could have done so much more. I'm totally lost. I've absolutely no idea what they're talking about. No, but I'm glad you people do under well. Andy, the middle issue is what I would call my comic community biography.
Is he on about the covers?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I think it is. And Wakazashi said, yes, it could have been a lot better and gone into more interesting directions. # released the Rami cuts. There we go. Went off on a tangent. Connie, if you could just confirm what you're talking about, that'd be great because I'm kind of sitting here sweating thinking, have I missed something? Oh my God.
I think they're talking about Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. I will get to it. So yeah, this for me again is another killer. Tom?
Yeah, I agree, mate. Totally.
Cool. And so that's 3 out of 3. Up next is Slumber issue number 3. This is
I hate this place.
No, it's not. It's not. I hate this place. Do you know what? It's not. I hate this place. This is Slumber. This is written by Tyler Burton Smith, arts by Vanessa Cardinali, and this was available last Wednesday. This is the main cover by Nathan Fox and the Rod Reese variant cover. Tom, what did you think about Slumber?
Well, I was going to say this is my favourite book this week. 100% my favourite book this week. Slumber. Really? Is one of my favorite books coming out of Image at the moment. I think it's really clever. And each issue, hello.
Oh, here he is. Oh, here he is.
Oh, why, hello there. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. I'm thinking about Tim. Yeah.
We've all been there, mate. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, I love this book. I actually had to read issue 2 again before I read this because I couldn't remember where it left off. But I really like it as a concept. I think going into people's dreams and fighting their nightmares is incredible. And I love the fact that she's hunting this this bad dream. I liked the revelation in this one that it's not that her daughter, she didn't get to have a daughter. She actually has had a daughter, and this demon or whatever it is, this dream haunted her daughter, and I thought that was really cleverly done into this one. So obviously we're going to go forward and we're going to find out what happened to her daughter. And this bit at the end, like she says in the things, like anyone dies but you in your dream, that's it, that memory is dead. Like you're never going to see that memory again, ever. So he gets the copper gets really protective over some people within his dream, and I think that's really quite cool. I really loved it. I thought it was a really, really good comic. I love the art style because it takes away a little bit from the seriousness of the actual story, so it gives you a bit of a false sense of security, and it kind of like it's almost like we've got a really impactful story about this woman who's lost her daughter, and she's fighting demons in people's dreams to try and make up for the fact that she's lost her daughter. And this guy's lost his brother and he's really upset and he doesn't want his brother to get killed and his thing. And then they wrap it in like cotton wool sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, here's some really Gucci artwork you'll absolutely love and completely forget that this is quite a dark story. Yeah, loved it, mate. What did you think?
I've got to say, they just tripped right out on this issue, didn't they? They literally just went down a whole crazy trip onto the wild side with this issue. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I am liking Slumber, and I'm glad I picked it as well for like us to read, because obviously I know we're reading it, so I kind of wanted to put it there. But this panel on the left-hand side, this was the opening second page of the comic. You've got a rat or a mouse or something just being hung by a balloon, and the kid's seeing it. This is how, like, for me, like it does, as you mentioned, it does lure you into a false sense of security, because you think you're reading like a I Hate Fairyland or something along those lines, and then it kind of just flips on its head, and then you see this girl, this kid struggling with her dreams, and we find out that it's Stetson's daughter, and we find out that that's the origin of how she got into dream killing and everything like that. It is a good comic. It's enjoyable, and I found myself laughing at some of the panels, even though I don't think they were meant to be laughed at, because I'm kind of like, it's a kind of an awkward laugh, because it's quite of an awkward story, especially when it gets to the part where they're at the funeral and Stetson shoots him.
I'll be right back, mate. My watch commander's just tried to find me. 2 seconds.
Oh, okay, cool. Right, so yeah, so it's just going to be me going on a tangent, but I've got to say that it was an enjoyable comic. Like, if any of you haven't read it, I would just give it a read, because there's parts in it where you kind of find yourself, as I mentioned to Tom a minute ago, there's parts in it where you find yourself awkwardly laughing, because what's happening on a page and what's happening with the character development is kind of it's like an emotional thing to do. But this issue does really go down and give you a good insight into the fact that you kind of understand Stetson, and you understand that where her fight has started from and where it's going to with Valkyria, because there's a lot happening in this comic, and it is quite an emotionally driven comic. And for me, this issue does a good job of building tension. You find out more about Finch, the police officer who's kind of committed kills, has committed murder due to the fact that he's been affected by the dream killer, and it just adds that apprehension of like, I don't know how this comic's going to end. And then we find out at the end with the cliffhanger ending that it's kind of like the person that Stetson has to kill is Finch's brother, and now Finch has kind of stepped in and went, "That's not happening."
Yeah, don't kill my brother because it completely kill any memory I have of him.
Exactly. So
piss off, mate.
but I enjoyed this, and I've mentioned it time and time again every time I review this comic. I'm a massive I Hate Fairyland fan.
Yeah.
And this has got so many vibes like that. This has got I Hate Fairyland vibes. This has got like bloody Monsters Inc. Vibes as well. And it is good. It is good. I wouldn't say it was the strongest comic of this week. I'd say I Hate This Place was pretty decent, but it's another killer for me.
Yeah, same, mate. Like I said, this is my favorite book this week. So
That's good to hear. That is good. And I think even this, I think issue number 2 wasn't Andy. Andy loved it as well. Andy kind of got into it. So that's interesting. So we kind of are doing something right with the comics that we're picking and stuff. But yeah, good. So that's the comic reviews. We just have a quick look at the votes. Oh, so we've got Andy is pulling away with it 59% at first place. You've got me in second place with 34%, and you've got Tom. I don't know how the fuck that's happened. Tom, you're at third place with Batman Beyond with 6%.
Thank you, Mom. Thanks, Mom, for that one vote. Cheers.
Andy's loving it because he's just basically laying in his bed going, "Make that account, click, make that account, click, make that account, click." But
the thing is, what I don't get right. So we've been going for what 50 minutes, yeah. There's, according to Facebook, according to the old YouTube, there's only about 15 people in the chat, right? 32 people have voted. Who's coming in and voting and then disappearing
and then just leaving? They're like, "Yeah, I'll place a vote and then I'm off."
I'm just going to place a vote and upset Tom because he never gets anything, never wins nothing. Actually, I did win last week.
You did win last week. But yeah, but talking about you, Tom, because we love you so much.
Yes, mate. What have we got? Dun, 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 dun.
There we go. This is your killer keys for May 31st, which is Tuesday, and June the 1st, which is Wednesday.
I thought that was my bit.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right. It's fine. I'm only messing. Yeah. So as Charlie said, this is the killer keys. So yeah, first up is Batman Annual 2022, written by Ed Bryson and artwork by John Timms, and some of the actual cover artwork is by Michael Jane as well. This one is a first appearance of Grey Wolf, who is the Grandmaster who taught Ghostmaker how to fight. So this is going to be about kind of his evolution, where he's been, and it's a real touch on. This book's apparently touching on where Clown Hunter has been, because he's been with Grey Wolf. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. And that comes out on the Tuesday if you're interested in getting it. I think you should, guys, because I had a look at some more comics coming out in the future of the rest of the year, and Grey Wolf's name does pop up a couple of other times.
Really?
So he could end up being quite a significant character. He actually pops up in Shadow War, issue something. So there's a rumors that he could be the reason that Ra's al Ghul has been shot.
I've got to say, right, so I followed the whole Shadow War thing, and I only picked that up because John Boy Mayers did the first cover, and I was like, look, I love this cover, I've got to pick it up, and I read the story. But then, for me, this is one of the best arcs that DC have done, because it's following through from Deathstroke, you've got it following through from Batman, you've got it following through to Robin, and then you're kind of going into the Batman Annual as well, and then you've got the Essences. Clown Hunter's coming into it now. You've got Ghostmaker, he's coming into it now, like the proper fruition. You've got Robin, you've got Respawn, she's coming into it based on the back of the story of Robin. It's really, really good, like really, really good. I'm really enjoying it, and I've just read issue number 6 of Shadow War that was in Deathstroke issue number 9, and then it now goes into Robin issue number 14. So it's all kind of tying together. And I think they've been really smart with the way that they've done that, because I haven't read any Deathstroke issues, but I've jumped into issue number 9 to follow it. And now I've gone back and read the previous 8, and I'm really, really liking Deathstroke as a character. So I've got to give massive kudos to DC for doing that, because I think for the first time in ages, they've been able to put the tie-ins together that are way above what Marvel do with their tie-ins. I get lost with Marvel tie-ins. You end up reading about 40 or 50 comics to tie in, and there's not relevance to it.
Yeah,
So
no, I totally agree, mate. They've done amazing with the Shadow War.
And I think it's been great, and John Boy Maz has been smashing out the covers as well. Like the one he's done for DC Vampires, the one shot,
Oh, the Damien one,
mate.
stunning.
That is, and like everyone, I think he's got an affiliation to Damien. Like he done one of the first Robin comics. It was one of his first artistic things that he did. But he's just smashed it, man. Like, and he's done so many covers. He's been doing like sketches and everything for like CGC and like Comic Cons and stuff. So if you ain't following him, check him out. That's just
I'm really
little...
excited for his creator-own Princess something or other. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that. But this looks wicked. Like I've picked up all the annuals, and I love Batman, and I cannot wait when Chip Zdarsky takes over, because it's just going to take it to the next level, I think.
Well, this is the thing. Most Batman annuals throughout the years have given some significance to the next ongoing story. So they're always worth picking up just to read, so you know what's going on in the next story arc.
And that's it. And as Connor's just said, oh my God, it's June next week. It's mental to think that it is June next week. It is June next week.
3 weeks and 2 days.
It's mental, man. And we've done 22 episodes of the Killer Comic Show already.
Mad.
It's mad to think. And then what's Andy saying? I don't work in robotic automation for nothing, lads. There we go. Look. And can everyone gently caress that thumbs up and show Andy some love? There we go. But yes, this is looking forward to this one. And then next.
Yeah, so next up is a brand new comic from AWA Upshot. This is New Think, and this is based around kind of the sort of similar things that happen in Black Mirror. So as you can see, the cover, I think, is really clever. So it's essentially Adam and Eve, but the apple isn't an apple. It's a mobile phone.
That's great.
So it's that kind of like, you know, the whole story of Adam and Eve when they grab the apple that's like forbidden fruit. So the phone is forbidden fruit. So this whole thing is based around like the rapid kind of development of technology and then the technophobes as well. So you've got people who love technology and the technophobes who hate technology. So it's a bit like that kind of battle between the two sort of thing. It's written by Greg Hurtwitz and artwork by Mike Deodato. I forget it.
Deodato.
Deodato, yeah. I read a review of this today because I was really interested to see what it's going to be, and people are giving it a 5-star review, saying it's a really, really good book and very, very thought-provoking. Very significant the fact that it's called New Think, but it apparently very thought-provoking on which side you would choose, whether you'd be a technophobe or well into your technology. So yeah, very interesting. I think, guys, the reason this is a key, or I would put it as a key, is it will, I think, be a TV show, or essentially a movie. I think that will happen.
It just seems like something that would be. I mean, you look at that; it looks like a movie poster.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting. It's a massive concept because technology is such a massive part of everyone's life now. Like literally, when I get on the trains to work, everyone's there on their iPhones. If they're playing a game or they're watching, we've all done it. And I'm a parent, and I've done it as well. I've got my kids, and I'm like, oh, hold on a minute, I'm just doing something. But you think 15 years ago you wouldn't have done that, which is why I mean I've taken what you said a couple of weeks ago. If you can do it every single day, just take 10 minutes at a time, just sit down with a coffee or a drink and just sit there with nothing, you kind of reset yourself.
Yeah.
And I think once in a while you need that. Right. And it's scary to think that this is the way that the world's going. They've now taken Adam and Eve, the biblical story, and they've turned it to Adam and Eve are now grabbing an Apple iPhone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
even the biblical stories are moving with the times.
It's fucking mad, isn't it?
And as Andy said, is this part of the resistance world?
I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I'm going to read it, to be fair, because it's really intrigued me. Especially because, like you've just said, I've been down a rabbit hole recently of listening to some podcasts and trying to redevelop my thought process. And some of the things you find out about, like some of the statistics in life now about how there's a lot more suicides and people are a lot more stressed and people aren't really engaging with each other anymore. And like the normal going out to the pub and having a pint with your mates and having a laugh isn't normal anymore. Like it's a rarity. And I think that's really bad. I mean, we're all losing the ability to have a conversation face to face.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And I like the fact that this book is kind of developing on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's definitely. I mean, it's called New Think, and we've just been talking about it for like 5 minutes, so it's definitely a thought-provoking comic. But I mean, I'm still reading the Joneses, which is again that ties into the Resistance world. So, and Dino has just confirmed that it's not part of the Resistance world. Yes, we are all very well, mate. Hope you are well too. He put up a post today of what he's looking forward to reading in June, and I tell you what, he's picked some absolute blinders there. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what his reviews are on his Instagram page. So thanks for that, Dino. Up next.
Yeah, so the next one up is Miles Morales issue 38, written by Saladin Ahem and artwork by Christopher Allen. This one, guys, is a key mainly because this is the first appearance of Billy Morales, who happens to be the Spider Smasher, and he's an alternative reality version of Miles Morales, of Miles Morales' clone. Okay, it's been going on recently, so it's like an alternate reality Miles Morales clone. It's a bit odd, but it's worth picking up for that because obviously any Miles Morales first appearance could lead to something in the future because of obviously Spider-Verse, the TV shows that are coming out. The fact that Miles Morales will 100% make his mark and end up on the big screen. So yeah, I agree with Andy. This will be a big key.
Andy's been talking about this for weeks.
Yeah,
like Andy's like become somewhat a perpetual spec guru, and he's if you're in the spec market, like I'm not into it. I'm not into the spec market of just buying and flipping and stuff like that. But if you are into it and you want to make yourself a quick buck, and there we go. And there you go. Look, I went heavy on this book. #dirty flipper.
Yeah, 100%. Billy Morales will be a big thing going forward, especially if they do, more Enter the Spider-Verse things and going forward. And there will be a movie or a TV show. Miles Morales will be on the big screen at some point, 100%.
So if you do want to make some quick money, and this is still going for recently relatively cheap price, pick it up, flip it, make a quick buck, and then buy more comics. And you can also send a lovely little donation to the Killer Comic Show so we can give you better content, but that's a totally different show. But anyway, there we go. So this is specking, and then up next, I'm interested in this one, so I've got to say,
yeah. So I actually need to kind of move this one on to next week because it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out next week. It comes out the week after. Anyway, this is Astronaut Down by Aftershock Comics, written by James Patrick and artwork by Rue Breen. Now, this is going to be a key, guys, because this has already been optioned as a movie going forward, and it is based around these astronauts. It's similar to the Venom story. It's based on these astronauts. They go off to visit an odd world, and on their way back, they're attacked by a symbiotic being that they've picked up on their route. It then takes them back to where they've come from and crash lands their vehicle or their space shuttle into the planet where they found said symbiote. And then it's about that. But it has been optioned, and I think it's like 6 issues, but it is already optioned, this one. But I'll give you more detail in a couple of weeks' time when it actually does drop as a key, and I can give you the full details, because unfortunately they removed the full details earlier today and I didn't manage to jot it down.
We've had quite a lot of that happening.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
In the last week, I think there's a comic that's been floating around for about 4 months now. Is it what's that called? Viscelli? Viscelli. Yeah, I think that's been floating around for about a month. But that's your killer keys. And then obviously you can what can we find from you at Instagram?
So you can find me on my Art of Tom mailing page, where I'm actually quite active at the moment, doing lots of daily drawings and things. I've actually changed dynamic on the daily drawings, so I'm trying not to bombard my Instagram with every single day drawing, because some of them can be quite boring, some of them be quite just kind of practice. So what I'm going to do is a weekly update. So every week I'll drop what I've been doing during that 1 week. And then you guys get to see my development through the week, and you get to see my final project for the weekend, because I quite like to pick a character or characters that I can draw at the weekend. So that's what's going on with my Instagram, the Art of Tom Mailing page. Feel free to follow me on Not Quite Mint. It's not as active as it would be normally because I've got quite a lot going on, but I will be back doing the Not Quite Mint stuff after my wedding, and I'll be showing you off my collection and what I pick up and kind of talking to you about news and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, please come back and follow me on Instagram for both Not Quite Mint and the Art of Tom Mailing. That'd be absolutely sand.
I just want to give you a massive shout out for your final piece that you did of like your one. Was it One Piece?
One Piece, yeah.
That was. I mean, I don't follow that show, but I kind of looked at it and was like, them characters look interesting. And I've kind of, if I was to read it and get into it, I would tie that back to what you've done. So thanks for highlighting that, mate. You look great.
Yeah, man.
And I know you was proud of that because it was
it took me a long time.
And it looked awesome. It did look awesome. So yeah, thanks for that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Oh yeah, and good luck with the wedding in a couple of weeks as well.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
That's all right. So we've got him in the chat, but I think it's time for a lovely little jingle. Should we get our rock on? That sounds really bad, but it's not like
rock
that.
Rock out with our proverbial out.
There we go. So that's it. This is the killer indies for June 1st. Now, I was going to put May 31st, but Andy hasn't picked any that come out on the Tuesday. So all he's done is gone and picked them out on the Wednesday, which makes my job for doing these slides a lot easier.
Never picks any DC books.
I know he doesn't. So up first, we have, obviously, this is the consistent Little Monsters, issue number 4, written by Jeff Lemire and the art by Dustin Nguyen, and this comes out next Wednesday. Now, for this, it tells the story of the young vampires stumbling upon a human girl and try to reunite her with her father. Despite their best intentions, the temptation of drinking human blood again might prove too strong when they enter a survivor's encampment. This story is going from strength to strength. It's Jeff Lemire tying into the whole family setup, getting you drawn in with like feeling emotion for these kids that turn out to be vampires, and they're now kind of getting the taste of and the understanding of what they actually are. It's interesting. I'm definitely going to be picking this up. Have you been enjoying this?
I have, mate. Yeah. I really like this comic. I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and Andy was not keen on issue 3, whereas I actually really liked issue 3.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good, and this like the covers look great. Do you know what I get from this is the Lost Boys from like Peter Pan. I kind of feel like there's something there. I think like their own Rufio or someone's gonna be at the helm, and they're gonna kind of be trying to impress him, and kind of where they've got from, because in the last 2 or 3 issues we've seen the same person that's been biting their loved ones before they turn. So I think he's gonna have a bigger part to play, and who knows, it might be happening in issue number 4. Up next, we have from Scout Comics, the ever impressing We Have Demons. Now, this is the end issue, I believe, but this has been available on Comixology for the past year. And when Andy told me about that, I was literally chomping at the bit to just literally switch on my iPad, head over to Comixology and read all of it. I haven't done it. I've stayed true to my word, and I've read issue by issue so we can review it on the show. This is issue number 3. This is written by Scott Snyder, art by the fantastic Greg Capullo. This hits out on June the 1st. This is it's not from Scout Comics, it's from Comixology. I forgot to change the logo, but bear with me here, because this is quite a paragraph. Faith is put into the ultimate test as Lamb and Gus face the demons of their past. The angelic and demonic forces of the world collide in this show-stopping first arc's finale. The best-selling creative duo of the last 25 years, writer Scott Snyder and artist Greg Capullo, present a new blockbuster series, We Have Demons. Years in the making, this title is bursting at the seams with epic, character-driven action for teens and adults alike. If you don't like it after this issue, you fucking will. That's what it says. How great is that? There we go. Issue number 3 from We Have Demons. And I love the fact that Gus, one of the main characters in this, looks exactly like Greg Capullo. 100%.
Oh, mate, he's done so well there, mate. Yeah.
100%. The way that he's created himself in this comic, absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. And look, Connie's even said, I always forget about the rock intro, and it always blows your speakers, doesn't it? You turn it on, you're like, and then you put them back in. But yeah, We Have Demons has been one of my favourite series I've read this year. Now, Connie, I've got a bone to pick with you. Last week, you said that you use your trade paperbacks as your bedside table. You sent us the picture. I weren't happy with you, darling. I've got to say, I wasn't happy with you that the fact is that Layla's Star was on the top of that pile, and there was, I think it was a bottle of Lucozade on top of it. We will have words after this. A mug or something. But after this show, we were going to have words because you are in detention. 1 week, you're in detention for 1 week. Shocking. Anyway, moving on. I've been looking forward to this one. This one's great. This is The Closet, issue number 1, written by the one and only James Tynion the fourth. Art by Gavin Fullerton, and this looks awesome. If you thought Slumber was a cross between Monsters Inc. and I Hate Fairyland, think no more, because this tells the story of Tom, who is Tom is moving cross country with his family and dragging the past along with them. His son, Jamie, is seeing monsters in the bedroom closet and will not let them go. A tale of existential familiar horror by James Tynion, The Department of Truth and Razor Blades, etc., and Gavin Fullerton, Bog Bodies and Bags. I'm so into this. Will you be reading this?
I saw some of the variant covers for this, and I was actually quite intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will probably give it a go. I would definitely probably read issue 1. If it gets picked, if it doesn't get picked, then I'm going to let it go. But if it gets picked, I probably would read it. Yeah, I wouldn't be shy away from reading it like some of the other things we've picked.
Yeah, I think that there's always that thing about, when you're growing up, there's monsters under my bed, or there's monsters in the closet, or so you've got to sleep with the light on. I love the fact that they're kind of going at it like this. But one thing for this here is like a telling thing is the way that they've done the O is kind of like the moon. It's like a full moon. It's like a total eclipse.
Yeah,
is that something
it's very ring-like, isn't it?
Yeah, like it is very ring-like. So is something going to come out of that? Is something going to come out of the TV? It's very, very interesting. And again, it's a horror comic. And I'm all for the horror comics. I'm all for the horror genres. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. And then last but not least, we have Super Freaks issue issue number 1. This is written by Various, and the art is by Various. And
Various
this is
so good. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, and he's like literally, he's got his own multiverses. There's thousands of them. This is When Fin Addicts Take Control, celebrating 10 years of the Savage Fincast podcast with an official fan tribute to everyone's favourite Finhead. Savage Dragon fans unite to produce one of the wildest comics ever created. It's crude, it's rude, it's hilarious. It's the most offbeat, off-the-wall comic book ever committed to paper. Super Freaks comes with our highest possible recommendation. Have you ever read any of these comics?
I have never read a Savage Dragon comic, ever.
Aren't they on issue like 801 or something ridiculous?
Like that. Yeah.
I wish Andy was able to tell us more about this, because when I kind of see it, I was like, yeah, I want to know more about it. But I don't think it's not a comic I don't think I'm going to pick up and read, if I'm honest. I don't think it's my cup of tea. Will you?
To be honest, perfectly honest, mate, no. And that's not because I don't like Savage Dragon or anything like that. I just don't know enough about the character to be invested to be able to pick up something like this, because I feel like there's so much history, so much rich history, so much good history. It would be me doing the character a dishonest approach to it by picking it up now.
Yeah. And Connie has said, she's going back, I told you it was bad. It was a can of Red Bull. The Lucozade was being balanced on Nightwing. I was sick. Energy drinks all round. The latest Star was still in its bag, though, so it's safe. You're just digging yourself a hole. You're digging yourself a hole. That's all you're doing. If Dino was to see that picture, I think he'd have a heart attack. He really would. And yes, do you know what? I did use your catchphrase on the Stream Elements thing.
Oh, my catchphrase, mate.
But I did that so you had an essence to it, because I didn't know what else to say. And I was like, you say at the end of every single show, it's in the wording of the show. It's in the description of each show. So I thought, well, why not put it there? And then that's it.
Hashtag not quite mint original.
There we go. Exactly. So, and I'm tying it back because Not Quite Mint will be going like coming back after after your wedding. So there we go. Justine has said, no.
No.
Wow, never say never, mate.
Can't do 2 shows.
The Closet is on my to-read list. I think if you're a key chaser, you might want to grab that too. After Something's Killing the Children hits TV, they'll definitely be snapping up all tiny opinions stuff up.
I
think
totally
it's
agree
going
with you, Kino, mate.
100%. I think it's definitely like there's going to be something for everyone, and I think the horror genre is really, really coming into fruition now. Like there's so many horror comics coming, and I think stuff like that is slowly going to start ticking over. So yes, 100%, and it's already been acquired. Andy just said, so there we have it. That is the killer indies for week 22. Up now is the killer trades for June 1st. We have up first. Tom, this is you, mate.
Yeah, so I picked the Spawn Compendium Volume 3 trade paperback, and this is by Todd McFarlane, artwork by Greg Capullo, who we were just, giving really good reviews to. So Greg's original work back in the day when he used to work with Todd McFarlane on Spawn is incredible. And it's a must go back and check out his old store work. But this compendium collects 101 to 150 issue of Spawn. And if you guys haven't read Spawn, I would definitely recommend picking up the compendiums because Spawn is a cult classic. It set the it kind of paved the way for other comics going forward, and it is well worth picking up. I will be getting it. I've got the hardcovers of these. They are beautiful. Very, very, very cool. Very, very nice bits of collector's edition. And it's really hard to get the single editions from 101 to 150 because they were very small, very low print run. So this is your best way of getting it to read them if you want to get them. Because like I said, the single issues were a very low print run. I believe the UK didn't get that many. So in the US, you probably will be able to find them rarely, but you will be able to find them. But in the UK, they are like rock and horse shit. So I'd get the trade if I were you. And that's my recommendation.
Rocking horse shit. I've heard unicorn poo, but I've never heard rocking horse shit.
Mate, have you ever tried to get rocking horse shit?
No, never. I think I think Phil said it. Spawn frightens me. It does. I read Gunslinger and really enjoyed it, and then just got lost. Just literally got lost.
I'll tell you what, right? I will say this to you now, Charlie. I recommend 100% go back, read Spawn issue 1, and then go from there and just read it at your leisure, whether it takes you 5 or 6 years to read issue 1 to 300. Just do it because you won't regret it. You really won't regret it. Trust me.
Okay, I will take you up on that because I'm intrigued in the characters. Like, there's so many of them. I do want to get to know them. I do like you hear Spawn talking like there's so much going on. So I think I might give that a read.
Yeah, it's a reason it's one of the longest going independent comics ever.
Dean is just saying, I've got to go into this chat because it's hilarious. Personally, I think Layla Starr is fitting a beer mat. And then Andy has said, someone ban Dino quickly. And then Connie said, see, Dino is on Team Connie. I still haven't read it, but it's at the top of the pile, so it has to hold my Red Bull. And Dino said, what? This is like the only place on YouTube I'm still allowed. And then Andy is giving a selfish plug here that says, if anyone wants to come over and follow me and to get me 1,000 followers and make me look super popular amongst my comic community peers, then please do head over there and do that now.
Or head over and unfollow Andy.
Just to make it even worse, just to piss me off even more. Spawn frighten me. There's a lot of it. And then Dina said, Phil frightens me. Yep, there we go. Lol, Dino, you can stay, but I'm watching you. Connie, I don't think I've ever seen Tom without a hat on. No,
I don't normally.
There is no Tom's head without a hat. And Dino said, I'll take a written warning. It was worth it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the red letter will be in the post to you, Dino. But yeah, so Spawn issue, the compendium volume number 3. And there we go. So I've gone for, this interests me massively. I'm a massive Walking Dead fan. So I went for Rick Grimes 2000 hardcover. It's 64 pages, 1999, Robert Kirkman and Cliff Rathburn. Rick Grimes was a small town police officer. It tells the story of Rick Grimes and the whole Walking Dead stuff. And then all of a sudden he kind of went off into space and stuff. And this is written by Robert Kirkman, who's obviously done Invincible, Firepower, and superstar artist Ryan Ottley, Invincible, Amazing Spider-Man, Venom, etc. This hardcover collects the entire Rick Grimes 2000 story, originally serialized in the pages of Skybound X. I didn't read the Skybound X, right?
I did.
But did you? Did you enjoy it? You didn't.
What a load of toss.
Really?
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this because I was like, Rick Grimes, does this tell the story of when he left Walking Dead? But is it really not that good? No?
No, it's just a bit in the nicest way possible, right? I just thought it was a cash cow. It was money. It was a money grab.
Yeah.
They basically retold the story of Walking Dead if Rick Grimes had gone off to outer space and come back with superpowers and a lightsaber.
Okay, Connie, does that answer your question why he's holding a lightsaber? Okay, so this is what was meant to be Killer Trades, but it's actually Killer Tosh. So don't
Killer
bother buying it.
Tosh.
There we go. Then I went for Superman, Son of Kal-El, Volume 1, The Truth, trade paperback, 152 pages, 24.99, written by Tom Taylor, art by John Timms, and this tells the story of a new Man of Steel for a new era. Jonathan Kent dons his father's cape as the 21st century Superman in a new series from the best-selling writer of Deceased and Injustice, the one and only Tom Taylor. This volume collects Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 1 to 6. Is this something you would be picking up, Tom? No?
Because I've got the single issues and they're really good.
Are they really good?
Yeah. Tom Taylor does a really good job, to be fair, with Superman. And I don't really like Superman as a character, but I quite like Jonathan Kent. I liked the Superboys where they did the whole like him and Damian were working together.
Yeah,
that was a really good. I thought this was okay as a series. And then I think it was issue 5 where he comes out as bisexual. It's really good. It actually really makes the rest of the series really good. This
is also out in hardcover as well. So I think it's the same thing. I think instead of $24.99, I think it goes up to $44.99. But yeah, even Dino has just said, as a huge Walking Dead fan, he'll be skipping that one as well. So I think I'll just be doing the same. I won't be bothering with that. ABZ has said, explains why I managed to pick up Skybound X Black and White 1 in 10 variants so cheap. I guess it does. Wait, I'm sure we had no Superman rule in the show, did we? I don't remember that. And Connie, yeah, I know. Connie, I want the Son of Kal-El trade, but I hate that cover. Not to be dramatic, but DC trades are so ugly. They kind of are. If that was, I think the original one, the first one was the Alan Quay when he went to the Comic-Con. That was the first cover for it. That was one of the variant covers for it. Possibly. Where Clark and Jonathan are walking up to like a mega Comic-Con.
Yeah, yes.
If that was the cover for that would be great.
That's Slab City exclusive.
Yes, it was. Son of Kal-El is a good read. There we go. Tom Taylor Superman for the win. Tom Taylor is an amazing writer and will give it a read, though it sounds a bit bonkers. I think ABC is talking about Rick Grimes meets Alien.
Oh, yeah.
Up next, we've got... You read this, didn't you? Batman Reptilian.
I did.
So this is the
top after issue 2 because it was again another DC cash cow.
Really,
it just didn't make sense to me. This whole I picked up issue 1 and issue 2 because I was promised a new reptilian bad guy. It just basically is Killer Croc on steroids.
Okay. Right, so the premise of that is Batman Reptilian hardcover, 160 pages, $24.99, written by Gareth Ennis, art is by Various, and the whole premise of this story is Batman is fighting Killer Croc on steroids, and this collects Batman Reptilian issues 1 to 6. Moving swiftly on, there we go. That was it. That was where we get to. So now we're at the business end of the show, and to close it out, we have Tom. You're in third place with 18%. Charlie,
sorry, I thought third was the new winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what third was the new top.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Tom, you've got 18%. I am in second place with 33%, and Andy from his deathbed has pulled out a win out of nowhere with Good Boy Volume number 2 with 49%. So well done, Andy. Well done for that. You win absolutely nothing. But as you can see, I've kind of had to shrink. As I've shrunk the size of this, I haven't won one. So I might go back to being big.
Full.
I'd
just like to thank whoever voted for me. I mean, thanks, guys. That 16% actually.
I voted for it because I absolutely love that cover.
That really means a lot. Thanks, guys. Really am chuffed with that.
And that cover, Tom, that 1 in 25, is that are we able to get that, or is it a store variant?
No, it's a 1 in 25. So if you go to your local comic shop, you'll be able to get it.
Perfect. There we go. Look, and there we go. Look, various gets around. Andy's winning the votes. Get in there. I'd like to thank Chickenpox and Paracetamol. There we go. And there we go. The
We thankful
covers
your nuts didn't drop off. We were
There we go.
Googling actually.
the covers for the series are beautiful, like the shingles, like this. Oh, I thought it was a shingles, not shingles.
Like the shingles.
Like the
shingles are great, but the trades are always awful.
But the trades are always awful. There we go. That wasn't no pun intended there. So yeah, so Andy, you've had another vote on there. So again, we've got the live claim sale. I can't say it.
The Lion Clam sale going on Saturday, June the 4th at 4 p.m. over on Hobgoblin's Facebook page.
Nice one. Thanks for that, Tom, because I literally got in a right kerfuffle there. And then there we go. So I like this part of the show. It's the Killer Comic Show sneak peek for next week. And up first, we have this. If this comic does not come out next week, right, this has been floating. This has been floating around for about a month.
Yeah, so I've gone for this one this time round. I think Andy went for it a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we're going to go and try and read this one. So this is Triskel, done by Scout Comics. And we're really excited about reading this one. So excited that they keep pushing it back a week.
I really am. And I'm also laughing at Andy's comment. Not sure about my shingles, but yeah, it's amazing.
That's awful.
I feel limes and clams. Get your limes and clams. At 4 p.m. over on Facebook, you can pick up your limes and clams.
Limes and clams. Lime and clam sale.
I'm so looking forward to getting this comic because I really want to read it. I can't wait.
Me too, man.
So
it's going to be crap. You know that, don't you? We looked for it so long. It's going to get there. It's going to be crap.
Don't say that. Yeah, have you been tested for monkeypox, Andy?
Yeah, you do this. Are you going ooh ooh ah ah every time you walk?
Walla walla bing bang.
Are you craving bananas?
My God. So anyway, I'm not sure who picked this. I'm gonna I'm gonna pick it. Or Andy, you can pick it. This is Batman Beyond the White Knight. This is issue number 3. So yeah, Andy didn't know that, but yeah, he's picking this one. And I've been approached by a company called Curring Comics. They've been on my case, which is always good to have. They've been on my case for about 3 or 4 weeks. And they've asked us if we can review one of their comics. So it's a self-owned company. There's 4 people that do it, and this is called Buttercup Remembrance. I think this was featured on Passport Comics YouTube channel where him and Triple G did a review of this. So it looks like Kieran Comics are kind of going around doing the rounds, and I think it's great that we've been included. They've approached us to do it. So I will be picking this to read next week, and that is the end of the show. I sound like bloody Ant and Deck, but that's it. That's
the end of the show.
That's the end of another show. And for us playing us out, we have Andy from his bed with his little cello.
On do one of his shingles.
Playing his shingles, saying,
shingles.
Get your limes and clams, But there we go. That's another showdown. I can't believe we're in June. June is next week. I can't believe it. We're in June already.
That's bonkers, mate. Absolutely bonkers.
Absolutely bonkers. And if you aren't on next week, Tom, obviously we will see. We talk every day. I talk to you more than I talk to my wife. But I wish you, and I guess everyone else in the chat will wish you a fantastic wedding. But yeah, I wish you all the best, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be wicked. You're gonna have an amazing time. And if you can join us on the show next week, that'd be great. Because the Three Musketeers will be back if Andy can pull himself away from his bedridden shingle sheets.
Yeah, he's got to really stop working on his shingles.
He really, really has. But it's been another fantastic show. We've had some amazing keys, indies, trades, comics. It's just good spending time with you guys on a Thursday night, enjoying what we do, reading the comics that we love. And massive shout out to you on this Thursday night. Enjoy your weekend. Always. Enjoy your bank holiday celebrations.
That's next week.
Well, you can start early. So, yeah. And, Tom, what do we say?
Well, I was just going to say big thank you to everyone that has joined us every Thursday. It means a lot to the whole channel. I know it means a lot to Charlie. It means a lot to me. It means a hell of a lot to Andy as well. So thank you guys for always coming here every single week and showing your support. You're always here. It's always the same names, always the same faces. So we really appreciate you taking your time to spend with us and listen to us ramble on about comic books actually make us laugh and have a laugh with us. I mean, it really does mean a lot. So thank you for that. And as I say always, as Charlie was about to do, stay safe, stay sexy.
And also remember, if you're out, make sure you get your limes and clams. Always get your limes and clams. Guys, it's been fantastic. Another quality show. Have a good weekend, and we shall see you next week. See you later.